Hello and welcome to another episode of Disney Movie Investigation. If this is your first time watching, welcome to the show. In each episode, we take a look at a movie that is featured on Disney+. On this episode, we are going back into the world of Marvel as we take a look at Fantastic Four: The Rise of the Silver Surfer, starring Jessica Alba and Chris Evans. And stay tuned for a bonus story as we take a look at the history of the PeopleMover in Disneyland. And if you are enjoying these episodes, I would ask that you please hit that subscribe button. That way you'll be notified with each new video. Now, sit back and enjoy this episode of Disney Movie Investigation. So like I said, today we are covering Fantastic Four: The Rise of the Silver Surfer. This movie was released on June 15th, 2007. It was directed by Tim Story. The screenplay was by Don Payne and Max Frost. The production companies were 20th Century Fox, Marvel Entertainment, 1492 Pictures, Constantine Film, and Ingenious Film Partners, and Dune Entertainment. It was distributed by 20th Century Fox, with the budget being $130 million, and it did a box office return of $301.9 million. But let's take a look at the production. So after the success of the first film, Fox hired Tim Story and screenwriter Mark Frost in December of 2005 to begin work on a sequel. Don Payne was also added as a screenwriter and was said to base the film on the Galactus trilogy and the Ultimate Extinction comic book series. The film would add elements of the Fantastic Four universe, such as the Fantastic Car, as well as a bigger role for Kerry Washington. And in June of 2006, it was announced that the Silver Surfer would be featured in the sequel. In August of 2006, a title was officially announced called Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, and filming would begin on August 28th in Vancouver. The original plan was to include Nick Fury, but that character was rewritten to a new character called General Hagar. Jessica Alba would go on several interviews saying that she did not have a great experience while filming this movie. Director Tim Story and her clashed a lot, and she would report that he would ask her to cry more sexy, as the way she was crying was too sad. Alba would later claim that Story would replace her real tears with CGI tears. So in terms of the cast, so we have Ian Grufield as Reed Richards, Chris Evans as Johnny Storm, Jessica Alba as Sue Storm, Michael Chiklis as Ben Grimm, Julian McMahon as Victor Von Doom, Kerry Washington as Alicia Masters, Lawrence Fishburne provides the voice of the Silver Surfer, and Andre Braugher as General Hagar. In terms of the plot, after defeating Dr. Doom, the Fantastic Four can enjoy life more. All four are now comfortable with their new powers, and the Thing and Johnny Storm now get along with each other, and Sue Storm is now planning to be married as Mrs. Fantastic. However, Galactus, an evil creature in space, has decided that Earth is its new target and sends the Silver Surfer to destroy it. Reed Richards and his team must now work together to capture the Surfer, and even then must team up with one individual who they did not expect for help. So in terms of the legacy of this movie, the teaser trailer was attached to the Night at the Museum, and then a theatrical trailer was attached to Disturbia. The cast would actually go on a promotional tour, and they would make an appearance at the Coca-Cola 600 Nextel Cup NASCAR race in Charlotte to help promote the film. In May of 2007, Fox would cut a deal with the Franklin Mint to promote the movie by altering 40,000 US quarters. The quarters would feature the Silver Surfer on one side, and on the other side, it would feature a link to the movie's website. This unfortunately was frowned upon by the US Treasury, and they said that it was a crime to turn a government-issued currency into private advertising. The plan was also originally set to have this be a trilogy, with the third movie featuring Ben Grimm and Alicia Masters' relationship as the center point. However, after Fox was disappointed with the box office results of this movie, the third film was canceled. So would I recommend this movie? This movie is a bit disappointing to me as a sequel to the original one, as it featured a very short story that was extended into 90-minute film. I felt the movie was padded with moments of comedy that did not really land with the audience. I think the other problem is that none of the characters seem to have any type of character arc or motivation. For example, it's not clear what is motivating Dr. Doom. Is he looking for revenge? Is he looking to conquer the world? It's never really quite clear why he wants the Silver Surfer's board. In terms of positive, I think Chris Evans and Jessica Alba have some really great moments, and the special effects are very well done, especially with the CGI of the Silver Surfer. Overall, I definitely would recommend it. It is worth watching. It's just not one of those Marvel movies that I'm going to go back to over and over again. It's kind of those once in a while type things. So definitely recommend checking out, especially for Chris Evans. So as we move on to our bonus story, we're going to take a look at the PeopleMover. So the PeopleMover was an attraction that operated as well as a transportation system that first started on July 2nd, 1967 in Disneyland in Anaheim at the Tomorrowland area. So the ride vehicles were always in motion as guests boarded the ride vehicles while standing on a large moving platform. Each car would have its own sound system and would have continuous commentary and a soundtrack depending on the car's location. The commentary would point out Disneyland attractions along with any promotional items at the time. So the ride was an updated WED system based on the Ford Magic Skyway used at the 1964 World's Fair. And Disney actually asked Ford to sponsor the attraction, but they actually declined. And the reason for that is because they didn't want to be sponsoring an attraction that could possibly replace the automobile. So they weren't going to advertise an attraction that could possibly put them out of business. Disney would go on to another sponsor, and they asked Goodyear, and they actually accepted. The ride would actually have the wheels replaced by Goodyear tires. The logo also changed to be a similar color scheme to the current Goodyear logo. And Goodyear would also sponsor the attraction until 1981, and the Goodyear jingle would be part of the soundtrack, and that would actually remain until 1990. The ride, when it first opened with a 4-car system, each with its own color, red, yellow, blue, green, with a white roof. And in 1968, the cars would actually add safety rails to prevent people from jumping from car to car. In 1977, a speed tunnel addition would be added, and this was located above the Carousel building. And this tunnel would have race cars painted along the side walls. And then in 1982, it was actually turned into a Tron promotional item, as the projections were now centered around Tron. The tunnel at that time was renamed the Game Grid of Tron. So why did the ride close? The ride closed on August 21st of 1995 because Imagineers thought the ride was no longer relevant. The ride would be replaced temporarily by Toy Story Funhouse in 1996, and then after that, another temporary attraction being Rocket Rods in 1998. The ride track and the show building, however, still remains in place as of 2024. So thank you so much for joining us here on another episode of Disney Movie Investigation. I would invite anyone to please leave a comment below on what they think of the Fantastic Four, The Rise of the Silver Surfer, as well as if you have a favorite memory of the PeopleMover in Tomorrowland. I would love for you to share it. And as we look forward to our next episode, we're going to be staying in the world of Marvel as we take a look at Black Panther. So until next time, I hope you have a magical day, and we will see you real soon.